Hi there. I'm watching Shaw TV, Channel 4, Saturday morning, and I'm just wondering, has your TV program, Channel 4, been hijacked by some crazed political organization? Freedom for All? I mean, this is not this is kind of strange, and I'm just wondering why you've got this Freedom for All thing on TV, public programming. It's really, really strange. Get it off the airline. It's weird. Bye.
I'm a chemtrail guy, and I'll tell you why. Look up in the sky, white streaks flying by. Got the time lapse so I can capture the blast. Here's the proof for the confused noobs. You want a pair of puppets, it's up high in the sky. It's all water vapor, why would they lie? Little ice crystals hanging out cause it's dry. Dissipate slow so they don't realize. Living in a fog like a bump on a log. Don't you worry, spray text on the dog. Keep your mind closed, not loose on a tether. Which one you like, which proof is better? Dennis Kucinich made a mention. In-house resolution 2977. BC Weather Modification Act got repealed. Kevin Falcone didn't want to keep it real. Modification ain't get...
Good evening and welcome back to Freedom Free for All, the show that pokes the New World Order in its all-seeing eye. My name is Josh Steffler. Tonight my co-host is the legendary Paul Stein, and our show tonight is a second part. 2 weeks ago we had Jeff on talking about the problems that were going on in Canada with our government, and today we're talking about the action in Ottawa, the crowning of a king in Canada, and Jeff's solution. So I just want to welcome Jeff to the show, and as always we like to do new media shout outs for all of our friends in new media that are helping cut through the lies and disinformation of mainstream media. Guys like Dan Dix of Press for Truth, Josh Sigurdsson of World Alternative Media, Luke Radowski of We Are Change, the trifecta of truth right there. You've got the feminine energy coming from people like Carrie Simpson from Culture Guard, Suzanne Marr of Bye Bye Blue Sky, Sophia Smallstorm,
Bev Collins from last week.
Yeah, Bev Collins. So there's a lot of good people out there on YouTube. Turn off your TV and turn on your YouTube and watch some truthers in action. And Paul,
yeah, I'd like to give a little shout out to everybody in the chat right now. If you have any questions, anything whatsoever, just put it in there and blitz them off. I'll put them off to the side and kind of answer them as they come. And thank you for being here tonight, everybody.
And as always, we like to do a new Agora shout out. This is an incredible newspaper. If you can get your hands on a physical copy, I encourage it. It's well made, beautiful art, highly engaging stories inside. You're going to find pretty much anything you want to learn about freedom, nutrition, cannabis, your mind, your soul, the government, all sorts of things. Anything that you really want is going to be in the new Agora. You can find physical copies in health food stores or cannabis dispensaries in Victoria, Vancouver, all over Vancouver Island, or if you're one of our 10.5 million viewers online
worldwide,
you can go to newagora.ca. You can read the stories for free, or you can talk to them, and for a small fee they'll actually send you a physical copy so you can, smack your neighbor when he's like, oh, I bet you read that on the internet. Boom. No, it's in the newspaper. Pick one up. So tonight we have Jeff on. Do we have a... Okay, so we're just going to go to a quick break, actually, and then we'll be right back with Jeff talking about the crowning of a king in Canada.
Solutions for 2019.
You're watching Freedom Free for All. Like us on Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube. You'll receive notifications every time we go live and before our show every Tuesday night at 7:30 Pacific Standard Time.
Welcome to the House of 1,000 T-shirts, where you will find unique T-shirts, graphic novels, and other swag brought to you by artists from around the world. Go now to houseof1000t-shirts.com.
Good evening. Welcome back to Freedom Free For All. We are broadcasting live from the city that wants to ban Christmas decorations and
I'm kind of down with it.
Diversity.
I'm not about wiping it out, but I'm kind of I'm okay with not spending taxpayers' money on crazy religious beliefs.
That's true, but Christmas trees at Christmas.
It's nice, it's cozy, but if you want it, then you should donate a little bit to the city, and the city should fund it. That's how it should be run.
I just have a hard time agreeing with Ben Ison because he's just a total commie. But welcome to our studio, Freedom Studios. My name's Josh Deffler. Paul Stein is our co-host, and Jeff Fortin is on the line. He's a concerned citizen. You watched him 2 weeks ago on our show. Jeff, welcome back to the show.
Hey Josh, how are you doing?
Good.
And Paul?
Merry Christmas.
Alright, first of all, let me pick the ball as you thrown it. In Victoria, you've already banned snow, so here you go for Christmas spirit. Yeah. And also, I'd like to add to your list people you may not have received or invited yet because they're too busy doing something else, or I don't know. But Mexican being one of them that I'd like to add to your list, which has, I'd say teach me a lot of things. That's one of them. There are others, big mouth, like even Alex Jones, who's wake up a bunch of people. There is also Winnipeg Alternative Media and World Alternative Media as well. I think that you know well, Josh Sigurdsson, which works there. You've named him. So thanks to all these people.
John Snyson of World Alternative
who stepped
Media,
forward.
Yeah.
But I have a very unique story to tell, and if you'd allow me to start with the latest news about what happened in Ottawa today.
Yeah. So, what's today?
Yes.
Today is December 18th?
Last week I spoke to you and to the people of Canada about the grand jury and how the power of the people to distribute justice lies within them. They're taking the responsibility of self-government and judgment. That grand jury today was carried with from a bunch of people. There were 50 of them. They've rented a bus. They jumped on board in several locations between Quebec City and Ottawa, and they brought the judgment. So that means this piece here to the RCMP. So I will briefly share my screen, and I also have other people on the line, so you will see them that they're waiting, and I will show you the video that they've made, if you allow me. That's
definitely
4-minute video.
How many people are watching? How many people are with you there, Jeff?
Yes.
How many people are with you right now?
Right now there is there are 4 people waiting on the line that we've of course spoken before the show.
Okay.
I'm going to introduce them to you in about 10 minutes.
Sounds good.
They're listening and they're watching. So once their turn has come, they're going to each introduce themselves, because the story that I have to say today is absolutely not easy, not even for me. It is still facts and truth. You will not like it at first, then you will think it's a joke at second, and then you will accept it as fact, just like we did. And we don't have a choice at this point in 2018, because today is a very historical day. 50 years ago, there was a coup d'etat that was run by the Quebec Bar Association in collaboration with, of course, the state of Quebec, which has nothing constitutional. They're not respecting anything that it says in there in regards to their duty.
So that was 1968.
Yes?
1968.
Since 1968, exactly. The 18th of December 1968, they've disbanded the Legislative Council, just like we were saying last week. And from that point on, the province of Quebec ceased to exist legally, constitutionally, and lawfully, and morally. And they kept the seat, and they took the power from themselves, and then they put puppet everywhere in Canada, mainly in Ottawa, which Trudeau was part, Mulroney was part, Chrétien was part. They're all part of the Quebec Lawyer Association. So they were all part of a crime, a major crime called a coup d'etat, and the very core of a coup d'etat is secrecy. So today, a bunch of goodwill people who got informed about the grand jury that was done in Cowansville in 2015. They took the judgment, this piece, and they brought it to the RCMP, So all the guilty parties, all the lists that we have kept over the last 3 years, which are available on CanadaGrandJury.ca, they are now officially under warrant of arrest. So
Holy moly,
this
really?
is where we stand. This is what happened in Ottawa today, and this is what I'd like to show to you for 4 minutes.
Let's see it.
All right, I will share my screen now. Let me move this out of the way.
We got
so we don't get
audio on this, Adam?
I'm being CSISed.
CSIS, yeah, CSIS is probably watching.
Yeah, well, you can say hi to them. They were in Ottawa today in front of the RCMP, and the RCMP was on CanadaGrandJury.ca no later than today. So, and yesterday too, by the way. So I will take a moment before we move into anything else to say hi to the RCMP and CSIS. We know you're there, and now you know that we know. So we're no fools. I'm going to share my screen now.
Here we go.
Share screen, share the left screen, share. This is Facebook, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to put this video here in full screen, and
Okay.
I can. So we'll not put sound because there's not really a point. It's in French anyway. But you can see here what they've done right in front of the RCMP. So I can probably do the color commentary. And you see the comments on the side here. I don't know if I can put that.
Looks like a
into
banner.
full
Looks
screen.
like we're looking at a
Yes.
banner.
Yes, here we go. So probably you see the same thing as I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Coup d'etat.
if you read the top word,
Yeah.
coup d'etat,
Yeah.
and here it says 50th anniversary. So it happened today, 18th of December, 1968, and we're tired of it. So the people are really there. They were in front of the RCMP, which, by the way, were very nice. So
Wait a minute. CBC didn't tell me this. CTV News didn't give us. Global Snooze didn't let me know any of this.
no, but I promised you exclusive thing today when we spoke 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
already
no.
aware
Yeah.
of that action that was about to happen today. So thanks to these people who spent their own pocket money to go in Ottawa and do that.
How many people went? How many people do we see here?
A bus full, for what I know. I cannot swear on my head because I wasn't there, but you see there are people right there, the regular people, and in a moment you'll see the cops. And they asked permission, by the way, to put the banner up there on the RCMP fence. And here's the RCMP car on the right there. Ottawa Police, RCMP headquarters.
And did the RCMP come and arrest everybody, or what happened?
No, they were served lawfully, legally, constitutionally about the judgment that happened not only at the grand jury of 2015, but also what happened at the Supreme Court, because we were there last week when we spoke together. Well, now you may want to learn that our judgment went by default at the Supreme Court in December of last year. 2 years ago, 2016. The judgment, we proceeded through the Supreme Court by default in 30 days.
Okay, and where can people get
that's
more
the result
information
you're
about this
seeing
right
today.
now that are watching?
Well, there's these people, pacifist people, and who wants to solve the situation peacefully, lawfully.
Is this a Facebook
constitutionally.
account,
Here they
though?
are.
Is this
And
a
they're
Facebook
acting.
account, or where can people find this video? Is this Facebook up online?
It's going up viral on Facebook right now. As you see, this is my Facebook here. Just Québecul or QCul. This gentleman here is down in the chat as well. For what I've seen, I don't have time to watch the Freedom Free for All chat at this moment, but he can possibly link it to you. Anyway, I'm going to stop sharing now.
Okay, great. No, that's
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So that was today. What we just saw, a bunch of people.
That was today in Ottawa, RCMP headquarters. They have served the grand jury. They have served the warrant of arrest. Like I said,
Holy
am I
smokes.
still screen
Warrant
sharing right
of
now?
arrest for who?
Okay, no. Sorry.
Yeah, so who got the warrant of arrest? Was it the RCMP?
The RCMP headquarters was served with a list of the people which are featured as criminal organization on the grand jury website, or as dangerous delinquent to be controlled.
Who is on this
Wow.
list?
The entire
Trudeau?
list that is available on CanadaGrandJury.ca. There are two lists. I cannot read it off
Okay.
the
that's
top
amazing.
of
So
my head right now.
CanadaGrandJury.ca.
I am inviting you to
Bring that page
do
up.
just like the RCMP did today and go and check it out. But there's a bunch of people in there.
What are some of the
believe me,
big
that grand
names?
jury hurts because it was made by good weak-willed people who simply are tired, who use their power of self-government and judgment. They gave a decision, they gave some people a mandate, and today you are being served by the end result of this mandate. And this is the story that I'm going to tell. So that if I can start this thing, so I can introduce the people that are waiting on the line. I'd like to start by reading a quote in a book.
Okay.
This book I took at my local library. It's in English, so I'm going to read it. It is called Dare to Lead. It was written by Brené Brown. I have no clue who this person is or where she lives. And I'm going to read that to you, and you think, well, you think what you wanted that. Where's my, no, I'm there in the book, so that's not what I want to read. Where's my marker? Here it is. I'm going to read you 10 points in the book, 10 bullet points, and you think what you would like about it. So we avoid tough conversation, including given honest, productive feedback. Some leader attributed this to a lack of courage, other to a lack of skill, and shockingly, more than half talk about a cultural norm of nice and polite. That leverage as an excuse to avoid tough conversation. Whatever the reason, there was a saturation across the data that the consequences is a lack of clarity, diminishing trust and engagement, and an increase in problematic behavior, including passive-aggressive behavior, talking behind people's back, persuasive back-channel communication, or the meeting after the meeting, gossip, and the dirty eye when I say yes to your face and then no behind your back. Rather than spending a reasonable amount of time proactively acknowledging and addressing the fear and feeling that show up during the change and upheaval, we spend an unreasonable amount of time managing problematic behavior. That was the second point. Third point. Diminishing trust caused by a lack of connection and empathy. 4. Not enough people are taking smart risk or creating and sharing bold idea to meet changing demand and the insatiable need for innovation. When people are afraid of being put down or ridiculed or for trying something and failing, or even for putting forward a radical new idea, the best you can expect is status quo, and groupthink. 5. We get stuck and defined by setback, disappointment, and failure. So instead of spending resource on cleaning up to ensure that consumer, stakeholder, or internal process are made whole, we are spending too much time and energy reassuring team member who are questioning their contribution and value. 6. Too much shame and blame, not enough accountability and learning. 7. People are opting out of vital conversation about the diversity and inclusivity because they fear looking wrong, saying something wrong, or being wrong. Choosing our own comfort over hard conversation is the epitome of privilege, and it corrodes trust and moves us away from meaningful and lasting change. 8. When something goes wrong, individuals and team are rushing into ineffective and unsustainable solution rather than staying with the problem identification and solving. When we fix the wrong thing for the wrong reason, the same problem continue to surface. It's costly and demoralizing. 9. Organizational value, are gauzy and assessed in terms of aspiration rather than actual behavior that can be taught, measured, and evaluated. And 10. Perfectionism and fear are keeping people from learning and growing. So, here's the deal.
Okay.
After the grand jury, we figured out at that point that everything was unconstitutional. They would not respect this in any way, shape, or form.
So they wouldn't accept the grand jury in any way, shape, or form, or
they just like I said last week.
Yeah.
They've obeyed to the grand jury in the story of Denis Paiement, but they never acknowledged it as something that really existed. But it's a fact. It existed, It rendered a judgment, and that's where we stand today. The state is an illegal bunch of pirates. So there's only one question: where do we go from here? Either we waste 2,500 years putting them at trial one by one, or we just move on to the next thing. Just like Dean Clifford said, let's just do it. Let's do it on our own. And this is where I would like to introduce to you tonight, because on July 1st, 2017, and this is where you will hate me and you will turn me into ridicule all you want. It is still a fact, so I can spare you going through the two first stage of truth very fast. We did crown a king, a de jure king, and where you can laugh is because we are poor, because we are only regular people. We rented a plastic crown in a costume shop. So laugh at us all you want. That's why we rented the costume. So I would like to first introduce to you Denis Paiement. Denis, si tu voudrais découper ton micro, montrer ta face. He is de jure king of Canada. If you don't know, that happened almost 18 months ago. So here he is.
The king of Canada.
Donc, si tu voudrais juste dire bonjour, Denis.
Bonjour.
So
Denis has stepped up to be the king of Canada.
He didn't step up. This is why it's him, and I do not agree with people who seek power, who claim power, and who are capable of exercising power. I don't think these are the right people to be there. I think on the opposite, the people that really know nothing about power and have no interest in power should be the one in power. That's the people we need in power. And that's why this is this gentleman's description. He is the one who made the grand jury possible in 2015. Denis may look all right, but the matter of the fact is he's got both legs cut above the knee. So, Denis, est-ce que tu as les deux jambes coupées? Puis réponds en anglais, s'il vous plaît, au-dessus des genoux. Do you have both legs cut above the knee, Denis?
Comment je le dis? Oui, j'ai les genoux. Yeah.
So here's your answer. So the poor guy is cut in 3 parts, so both legs and the rest of his body. And looks like we've lost camera now.
Oh, yeah, it must be the feed or something. Is that on your end? Because we saw Denis there for a second.
Yeah, for a brief moment we saw.
Anyway,
the
you can
king
still
of
you
Canada.
can still hear me.
I can still hear you for sure.
I don't know why my camera cut, but yeah, we are CSIS, so yeah. What
What does Denis feel about today's actions? How does he feel about that?
Comment tu te sens à propos de l'action que tu as vue aujourd'hui à Ottawa? How do you feel about the action today in Ottawa?
Après 3 ans, c'est un autre pas vers la victoire.
Another step to victory, he says.
Wow. Victoire.
So, victoire, victory. So, yes, it may seem incredible. I am honest with you. It is incredible for me. We have prepared question for the king. We're going to do that in a moment. If you allow me now, I would like to introduce how serious we are. So not only that we crowned a king, but we have other people which are on the line right now. We'd like to introduce a de jure Governor General. So Miss Angèle Prince, s'il vous plaît. Vous êtes prié de découper votre micro et votre caméra. So, Miss Angèle Prince, I now introduce her to you.
And welcome
so
to
please
the show.
introduce yourself to...
I am the Governor General of Canada de jure, and I really and freely applied to be volunteer to respect the Constitution of Canada, because I discovered with the grand jury that there has been a coup d'etat in 1968. And there was nothing. The government had no power since then, and I think it's enough. 50 years is long enough. So I've decided with the grand jury and the truth to do what I had to do, and that's why I'm here today.
So at the same time, because there was a short ceremonial made on July 1st in Ottawa in 2016, so for the 150th anniversary of Canada, that was just, for the show and for the mass, but we were there at 9 in the morning. We've documented all of this prior to the claim of right. Of course, we had the grand jury, which led us to there, but Angèle, you were personally involved in the Quebec Cour d'Appel, yes or no?
Yes, I was. And
what happened there?
Well, we were being pursued for the third or fourth or fifth time by the Federation of Maple Syrup to pay them back because we did not respect their contract. We didn't have anything to do with them because we wanted to be free of selling our maple syrup to whom we wanted to. That is called the freedom of association, Article 2 of the Constitution. And then when I went to because I had to reply to the appeal court to make sure that I was not we were not being seized by default, and I knew that the answer from the appeal court would be wrong for us, would be false, but that answer from the appeal court would bring me to be able to bring procedure to the Supreme Court.
So next you went to the Supreme Court, right?
Yeah, I needed an appeal court decision from Quebec to be able to apply to the Supreme Court.
Supreme Court
when we went to the appeal court in Quebec. I had 3 judgments and that were not in our in their favor for us. 3 wrong judges from wrong people, from unpowered people. So I teared them all. I told the judges whom they were all in conflict of interest.
Did you accuse them of treason straight in their face?
Yeah, I teared them all the 3 judges right in front of them, and I told them that they were traitors. And I left the court, and the chief appeal court, she said, "Well, I see that you're leaving. You're leaving the court." I said, "I don't have to talk to you because you're not valid. You don't have any power, and then I don't have to listen to you."
Would have been epic.
And we got out of the appeal court, I was very proud of what I had done, and there were seven police guards out there waiting for us, telling us to get out of the Palais de l'Injustice Palais. I'm very proud of what I did because it was what I had to do because I was not going to let this happen to us, knowing that they were wrong and they had no power. I had the power. We had the freedom of association, and they did not respect that. So too bad they had to pay for it.
So I'm going to resume that very quickly. She went in front of the Court of Appeal and told them she was told them they were traitor. She took apart their judgment, tear them apart, and left. And that's why we went to the Supreme Court right here.
Supreme Court of Quebec or Supreme Court of Ontario?
I needed to have an appeal judgment from the Appeal Court of Quebec, the highest in Quebec. So that was the second time I was going to the Supreme Court with a false judgment from the Appeal Court.
So what happened at the Supreme Court? Was there an hearing, or you got a default judgment?
I got a default judgment because nobody answered my request.
So this is it, gentlemen. This is where we stand. So we made the grand jury. It was made in front of a notary public. We've made all the procedure in front of their court. We've also, on the 18th, well, I'll wait for that because we have a list of questions.
Okay. So should we jump into these questions? Are these
right now, we'd like to introduce all the people, and then we can jump into it. So I'm going to do that very quickly. Next to Angèle, because we've done a couple of things. We are not alone. I would like to introduce to you the Lieutenant Governor for the province of New Brunswick, and I'll let him speak for himself. He's gonna speak in French, but yeah.
Oui, bonjour.
Salut, Régent.
Bonjour.
Lieutenant-gouverneur du Nouveau-Brunswick. De jury.
So Régent does not speak good English, so we're not going to hold him back for that. So he's introduced himself as a Lieutenant Governor de jure for New Brunswick. We want this country united, so we need people in every and each province, of course. So next, I would like to introduce merci Régent. I would like to introduce from Ontario, Mr. Paul Chauvin, which was here before under your channel.
Absolutely. Paul,
yeah,
welcome.
I'm Paul Chauvin from Ontario.
Welcome,
I'm
Paul.
going to be the jury Lieutenant Governor of Ontario.
Cool.
And last but not least, we have Carl Edward Fleury from Alberta, which I'll let him introduce himself as soon as he figures out how to put his camera back. Here we go.
Good evening. Here I am. My name is Carl Edward Fleury. I voluntarily decided to take the position of Lieutenant Governor of Alberta per Uri as my duty as a Canadian citizen. And obviously my work is to bring the Constitution and share, the information to all our people here in Canada and show them where they can empower themselves and give them the knowledge of the grand jury also.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show, yeah. Okay, well, and is that all of the introductions, Jeff, that are on your team?
I had one more person. One more? Unfortunately, he's calling sick. But we also have Mr. Paul Leblond, which is Lieutenant Governor de Jure for the province of Quebec. And we're all working in the sense that Carl just said. We need to take it back from the clown's end. It is utmost urgent. It is not, if there were someone else, I'd just leave them my spot. And that's why all these people are introduced to you, to show you that we were serious, that I'm not alone in that we followed the due process of due diligence, that we cannot tolerate the clowns no more. Just like you said 2 weeks ago, they're signing the United Nations Pact about climate and whatnot and immigration. That's enough now. They're not representing us. We need to do it ourselves. People of goodwill, small party of people of goodwill will do it. And you've seen it today live in Ottawa.
Yeah, we saw that video that you showed earlier.
They stepped down. So they're going to step down now. It's an order. And where do we stand as people? We stand right here. If you see, this is our country. This is our official country. And this book is from 1982. Right there. Here we go. This is where we stand. Constitution 1982. And we would like to offer this country of Canada back to its people. Only we need to understand that freedom of association is not negotiable.
Well, Trudeau would beg to differ that it's not negotiable. He just...
Yes, go ahead. Could you repeat, Josh?
Oh, me? Okay. There's so many people on the... I would say that Trudeau thinks that it is negotiable. I mean, he just negotiated away our sovereignty to the United Nations through, that United Nations
do you, as a person, one person to another, do you agree with that?
No, I don't agree with it at all.
We have a consensus. He's the only clown in the town, and he's boring. So he does not represent us. Just no more. I represent myself, or I will consent to the government that I want. And I do not consent to these clowns. And from what I know, having crossed this country, having these many people, we all think the same. I know nobody who votes. I know nobody who wants to have to do any business with these clowns no more. They're true.
The media seems to be
once
the only
we realize that, let's do it ourselves. And this is where I will invite you to read the question list that we have, so people can have the answer from the proper person. That means the King and Right of Canada.
Sure.
Okay.
For the first time in history, we have our own Canadian king. We owe nothing to the British. Let's build it ourselves, and
cool.
they will come. Just like in Field of Dreams.
Yeah.
But if we don't dare to lead, we won't get anything. So this is where we stand. This is what the people of good intent do on your channel. This was my proposal to you.
Yeah,
and it is Denis' gift to the world.
So we've got a lot of people on the chat, right in the chat box. We got close to 40 people watching the show right now.
Welcome everybody. Welcome Canada.
Welcome everybody to the show. If you've got a question, put it in there.
A new start, just like this title.
Yeah,
it's up to you.
We got Toronto Dump here, and he says, declare all Rothschild and Windsor-owned property the proceeds of crime and seize it. So that's the kind of statements that are made. So I guess the first question that we've got here that I'd love to deliver to Denis is, is he the king of Canada de jure? Or de facto? What's the difference?
Denis? Oui.
En anglais, s'il vous plaît. Yes, no, toaster.
Yes.
All right, so Denis doesn't know how to speak English properly, so I'm translating the question. So yes.
Oui.
Is the answer.
And is he the king and right of Canada since when? Like, since when did that happen? When did he take his oath? Did he take an oath?
Est-ce que tu es le roi du Canada de jurer depuis le 1er juillet 2017?
Yes.
Est-ce que tu as juré sur la Constitution?
Yes.
Is his oath public? Can it be seen? Can it be? Did he declare it in a video, or is it written down somewhere so that it's signed, sealed, and dated?
Le 4 avril, ça s'est passé.
Yeah. Let Denis answer. Let's not try to answer to. He needs to speak to the people, so I'm gonna formulate the question in French. Est-ce que tu as auparavant fait une réclamation de droit royal le 4 avril 2017?
Yes.
Okay, let's jump to the next question here. It says, did you previously make a public claim of royal rights of Canada on April 4th, 2017?
C'est la même question, donc ils se sont trompés un peu, là, mais est-ce que tu as fait une réclamation publique de droit royal le 4 avril 2017?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And so we've got a list of questions here that we're going to go through here. Was a claim of royal rights of Canada made in a town hall in La Macasa, Canada?
Est-ce que la réclamation de droit royal a été faite dans un hôtel de ville à La Macasa au Canada?
Yes. Je montre le journal.
He's gonna show. Can we big screen this? Can we full screen this? He's gonna show to you, but c'est dans deux questions de toute façon. So you've got the picture there, which proves that was done.
Okay, let's see it.
That's him?
That's him.
Can he read the headline?
Can you read the headline?
I'm a former Canadian sailor for the Royal Navy. That's me in my uniform in a town hall, and we made a claim of right, and here it is. A claim of royal right. But you've got your question, so we're going to answer there, but there it is. Can it be proven by, is it written? Yes.
Passe-le moins vite, ça.
Montre-la toi aussi.
All right. Well, I guess the next question then is, was a royal claim of rights of Canada made before a notary public?
Est-ce que ta réclamation de droit royal a été faite devant un notaire public?
Yes.
Cool.
Who was the notary public?
We can't barely hear you, Josh. Can you care to repeat?
What was the name or the identity of the notary public that this...
very easy. C'est quoi le nom du notaire?
Ça va me revenir, voyons, Colin.
Jocelyn Boudrier?
Hein? Jocelyn Boudrier. Ghislain Boudrier? Non, ça se peut-tu?
Ben, ça se peut-tu? Je sais pas.
Oui.
The name of the notary public is Ghislain Poudrier. He is located Boulevard de l'Annonciation Nord. That's in Rivière-Rouge, Quebec. Of course, everything happened in Quebec.
So, Jeff, perhaps you could put the name of the notary public in the live chat, because that way we can go back and check it out.
We've got a couple other quick things here from the live chat. Lisa Trudell says, hello, happy to be part of this great news. Toronto Dump says, resetting the monetary system and seizing the property of the top 3 families, in brackets, to start is imperative. So thanks, everybody, for your questions. Any questions, statements, comments, put it in there. If it's witty and whatnot, we'll say it. So back to the questions, TV. Jeff.
So back to these questions. I guess we just answered this one, because was a royal claim of rights of Canada published in the local newspaper, and that's the headline that you just showed us, I assume.
And I told them to get a jewel case for it, because this newspaper is not very precious. There was a link not so long ago on the internet about that. They took it down last week. So yeah, I mean, they know what we're doing.
What was the name of the newspaper?
They're going to try to damage control, but it's much too late.
Yeah, that's a good question.
What was the name of the newspaper?
C'est quoi le nom du journal?
Rivière Nord.
Attendez, Denis va le lire. Je vais te montrer la première page.
Ouais, mais c'est parce que la première page, je l'ai plus dessus, c'est ça qui arrive.
Ah ben, ok. It was Echo from the North, published in Quebec, Rivière-Rouge.
Wow.
The Courant des Laurentides is the name of the newspaper.
Okay.
So I guess the next question is, was a royal claim of rights of Canada sent to Westminster?
Est-ce que la réclamation de droit royal du Canada, Denis, était envoyée à Westminster?
Yes.
And did they accept it?
Angèle, I'll let Angèle answer this one.
I had no answer from Westminster. No answer at all.
So
Did they
tacit.
accept it?
Is that tacit acceptance?
So it's by default.
But they did accept it. They did accept it.
They didn't oppose.
They
Say
didn't
anything.
oppose.
They did not answer. They kind of accepted it because they did not give an answer. So it's by default Denis is the king of the Canada, the Europe. Because the throne was free.
Ouais, ben, faut attendre pour ces questions-là. We have this question already. We have a list of questions. Thank you very much.
All
Okay.
right, next question, Josh.
So I guess the next question is for Denny, the King of Canada. Are you Canadian?
Est-ce que t'es Canadien, mon Denis?
Yes.
Is he a Canadian national, or is he a Canadian citizen, or is he both?
At this point, we're not going to go down the strawman thing, but it's just a question of, what is Canadian. It's actually anyone or anything born in the physical territory. The trees outside my house are Canadian. The polar bear in the North Pole, even freaking Santa Claus is Canadian.
David
So
Suzuki
because he
might
lives in the
disagree
North
with you
Pole.
on the polar
David
bears.
Suzuki
but-
would, yeah. All the polar bears.
Like I was reading into the Dare to Lead book. I don't think we have time to
Okay,
waste
let's-
down these rabbits hole. Let's
Okay.
just move to the next thing.
The
do it
next one
ourselves.
is the next question is for Denny.
I know it's.
Are you of blue blood or royal family descent?
Est-ce que t'es de sang bleu ou de sang de famille royale de naissance?
No.
No. Okay. So no royal family descent. What about the Queen? Is he
She's
related to
She's not of a royal family either.
No,
But,
she's
like
not.
I said, no time to explore these
Yeah.
rabbit
So
holes.
was the throne
When
of
they've done
Canada
what they've
empty?
done in 1931, bringing us back with the Treaty of Westminster, they gave the crown with it. Elizabeth was never crowned as Queen of Canada. She was crowned the Queen of England,
Yeah.
but she never
So it's
received the
kinda
crown of
de facto.
Canada.
De
So-
facto.
we have nothing to do with her. You can check your $20 bill.
Yeah. Denny, did you intend to make a royal claim of rights of Canada?
Est-ce que tu as déjà eu l'intention de faire une réclamation de droit royal du Canada?
No.
No. Okay. Was the throne of Canada empty?
Est-ce que le trône du Canada était vide?
Yeah.
Oh. Wouldn't the Queen disagree?
Well, I've got the Constitution of 1982 official picture, and she didn't sign it.
Yeah.
I can prove it right now.
okay.
We don't need her
No.
agreement. That's the beauty of the thing. Following the grand jury, they have nothing legal, so I don't care what they say.
So
No
is
more.
this a usurpation? Like, Denny, did you usurp the royal rights
que
of
c'est-
Canada?
Est-ce que c'est une usurpation des droits royaux du Canada?
No.
Were you crowned officially in Ottawa in front of Parliament on July 1st, 2017?
Est-ce que tu as été officiellement couronné devant le Parlement à Ottawa le 1er juillet 2017?
Oui.
Yeah.
Was there other volunteers for roles in constitutional monarchy at the same date?
Est-ce qu'il y a eu des volontaires autres que toi pour des rôles dans la monarchie constitutionnelle à la même date? This I think we already answered, but I let him answer anyway. So,
No. No.
non, il y a, tu sais, I'll ask the question again. Est-ce qu'il y a eu d'autres volontaires pour des rôles dans la monarchie constitutionnelle à la même date du 1er juillet?
Non.
Ben, voyons donc, non.
No.
Oui.
Pense-y, hein.
Ah oui. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Question was not clear.
So is there now a de jure, which means of the people, Governor General of Canada?
Est-ce qu'il y a un gouverneur général de jure pour le Canada?
Oui.
Yeah.
I think
And
you've
who
got
is
it
it?
in front
That's
of you.
Angel?
Because normally when I wrote these questions, we were supposed to introduce the people after the list of questions.
Oh,
but
okay,
some
yeah.
people, it's very late, like in
Sure,
New
I
Brunswick.
hear
They're going to
you.
leave soon.
Okay.
And that's why we've done it that way.
Well, thanks
I think
for
you have
joining
one more
us.
question,
absolutely.
which
So,
has already been answered.
Which one on the line is the de jure Governor General of Canada? Is that Angel?
Yes, Mrs. Prince is
nice to
the
see
UA
you.
Governor General of
Okay,
Canada.
and
But
then
it's been 18 months now.
18 months. Happy 18-month anniversary.
Well,
of
I've got to
Governor
say, first and
General.
foremost, I hope you guys don't mind if you take criticism, because the guys here at Freedom Free for All, we have a tight critique on government.
Yeah.
So if you come
no
across a little
worry,
sharp,
Paul.
that's just our programming. Our
No worries,
years of
Paul.
programming.
I am open to criticism for as long as it's constructive. And if I was not open to it, I could not put the flag of freedom before me. It's a part of their learning process to fail, to expect to fail, to get some setback, to get some heartbreaking. It's part of process, but at least we keep on going. We have no claim or intent to claim that we're going to be savior from the sky and white knights of any kind, or we just took our own destiny into our own hands, figured out that the seat of government are totally empty, and that we need a way out from this mess.
Nice, I like that.
And invite in the process anyone who dares to be free to take a part of it, and let's build it together. We can't do... I am, you know me, I spoke to you in private.
Yeah.
I am personally for freedom. Angel just claimed the same thing as you. What led to the grand jury, if we ask Denis, la liberté d'association, c'est important pour toi?
Oui. Yes.
Freedom of association. We all are bound by what you open Freedom Free for All for. It's the love of freedom.
Mm-hmm.
We understand that this document, which is the Constitution, only applies to them, and it doesn't really matter what we write into it, because it only applies to them in any way, shape, or form. So it's up to us to put it down their throat or put them down altogether. You have no reason to be there, Mr. Whoever, and I could name Trudeau, I could name Charest, I could name a bunch of them, because you're not doing this. And that's all there is to it. If the people do not consent to be governed, I am the first one who agrees with that. I do not consent to be governed. But I want the company's ass to be kicked. By whom? Not me. It's not my duty as a private citizen. It is up to the public servant to do that and to put those companies accountable. And if they've committed some crimes up to treason and high treason, well, guess what? You're going to be found guilty. And that's what, following the grand jury, we've done at the Supreme Court. Here it is. That's our introductive request. Miss Angel Prince here present on the line will tell you we've got a default judgment, and I will ask now Denis, est-ce qu'on a eu un jugement par défaut à la Cour suprême? Did we have a default judgment at the Supreme Court?
Yeah.
Which Supreme Court
so
was it
it's not
again?
even our decision in the end. We need to put a solution forward. Let's take it back the way it says in here, because we don't have time to disagree no more.
Yeah.
So what's the game? Sorry, go ahead.
50 years long enough.
Go ahead.
Well, 50 years long enough. There was a coup d'etat, gentlemen. They have no rights to be there for 50 years, for fuck's sake.
They have no power.
They have no power. No power whatsoever. In fact, there's not even a government. There's a private corporation. Let's just make them sink with their lies. I care not if the Corporation of Canada goes bankrupt with $750 billion in debt. Bank of Canada, which Commerce, it's not even me again. It's Commerce Group from Toronto. Mm-hmm. They figured out that the freaking Bank of Canada was not used, that it is that it is a constitutional thing to use it. And that also where they didn't push, I pushed through the grand jury of 2015. The government is not formed as in constitution, therefore you're out. That's it. If you bring 10 people to the baseball game and you try to put them in the field, well, there's too many people on your side, buddy. Take one out. Yeah. Or you can't play. Oh, we're going to play with 11. I don't think so. It's not hockey. There's no
too many men
punishing or
so what's the game plan for 2019?
There's no short-handed.
What's the game plan for 2019? What do you need? What What is the next, because being a government is more than just electing being a position.
That's it.
There's
the
a lot
government must be elected. Thank you very much. This is why we are not right now taking care of the government. We are taking care of the Constitution foremost. And it says in there that there's a king or a queen or a sitting monarch, if you prefer, because we are a kingdom. Well, we started from the top because shit always follows gravity. It comes from up and it goes down. So we needed the person which is the highest public servant, him. He's not about to tell the people what to do. He swore allegiance unto that. And in this, it says the king owns government. That's his duty. He either employ everybody or kick everybody out. How does he do that? To kick everyone out, he uses common law, grand juries,
the royal
King's
mace.
Bench. This is in the Constitution. And back to 2015, that's exactly what we've done. A grand jury of people which have discovered that the government is not legally formed. It's been 50 years. It's enough. And it's been 50 years tonight at this very hour. So we're not only celebrating the end of it, but we're celebrating tonight the creation of the monarchy.
We're honored to have you on the show.
18 months ago.
About this.
But now we're presenting it to the people of Canada because everything we've done needed it to be done in French. We proceeded with what we had at the time. Now I'm giving you not a problem. I'm ending you a solution. Here it is. Let's do this all together because this is a national emergency. We need to step forward, each in our part of this country, and unite. Unite around a good idea, that says that the government must listen to this or get out. So I'll do this.
Well, there's one question from the chat here. CC says, so what's the status of property rights? How does that fit in? Does it change anything?
It changes everything because nothing they've done in 50 years is valid. So if you want to see change, nothing they have done, all their status, all their declaration, all their judgment, nothing is valid. So it does bring us back exactly to 1867. So if you want to see some change, there are going to be some. But I hate wave in this type of thing. We'll need to keep things as close as possible for a very short period of time to what it is now in order not to create a panic because people believe that money is worth something. So if we tell them from one day to another, well, by the way, every dollar you've ever owned isn't worth a thing. It's not worth a thing. It's not worth it to get out in the morning and to get some fucking papers. But people still do it, and we don't want to cause a panic. So there's going to be a need to admit that the actual system is where it is now. We'll take it from there, and we'll put the correction, but based on the idea of the people. So once again, I do not intend to tell you what's going to happen. I want to see you make it happen. Everybody, we sit together, we take the time to think, just like it says in there. We ask the hard question. We put the truth forward. I don't freaking care about your opinion. Why? Because you don't care about mine. And I'm not going to tell you my opinion. That's not why I have appeared on Freedom Free For All. I've mainly kept it to facts and thing that I've done myself. There's nothing in there which is my opinion, because if you ask me, the freaking grand jury we've done in 2015, I didn't want to do it. Why was it me that had to do that? Joe Nobody? Why was it Miss Angèle Prince who had to do that? Why is it so?
Has nobody stepped up to do this at all in the last 50 years?
What's that?
Has nobody taken this approach that you've taken in the last 50 years?
A lot of people have figured it out, and they've either took a check or a bullet for it, mainly a check. And they kept quiet, and they kept on going. There's 25,000 guilty lawyers in Quebec. They're all into it. And you know what? What's incredible is they're so fucking stupid, those lawyers. They don't want to understand it, and we've put it in their face at every court level we could, up to the Supreme Court. They don't want to hear about the Constitution. Why? Because they're not part of it. They're not into it. Quebec is not Canada. If Quebec is gone, there is no such thing as Canada. And in fact, there is no such thing outside the Corporation of Canada. There is no Canada. There's no legal government. There is no legal government.
Well,
and
no
even though I'm presenting you a monarchy tonight, there is still no legal government. We didn't put our puppets into there. No. We don't have 125 puppets that we can send to the House of Commons. We don't have them. It's up to you, the people, to step out and be your own government. Now, after that we figured it out, how the coup d'etat.
Who actually committed the coup d'etat? Is there one name?
It's a Quebec National Assembly is the utmost guilty party, but they all descend to a syndicate, to a union of workers called the SFPQ, which is located Boulevard des Gradins in Quebec City. And at the time that we made the inquiry from the grand jury, it was, c'était quoi le nom? Guy Nadeau. Guy Nadeau was the guilty party owning the state of Quebec. So we found them. It's the utmost party, guilty party, are private corporation, Power Corporation, Bombardier, and the alike, and up to City Financial and the Rockefeller and Hydro-Québec. The list is long,
So
and it's available on CanadaGrandJury.ca. And right now, like I said, right today, the warrant of arrest has been issued. So there was a fair trial in common law. It was done in a summary procedure. I know I was there for the entire thing. And not only that, but it's all on my channel. So it was done publicly. All of the action of the grand jury up to the crowning of Denis was a authentic act before a notary public. After that, we don't need him no more. He's the king. So he doesn't need to notarize anything. So the throne was empty, as he said.
Would it be safe to say that...
And now these people are taking it.
Would it be safe to say that they abandoned ship in 1968 and it was just Canada, as what we know as the political structure, was just left abandoned and they took over as a corporation?
Yes, that's exactly how a coup d'etat happened. And the private party who took over, they had an interest to keep it silent. That's the core of a coup d'etat. Secrecy is the very core of a coup d'etat. But they've made it happen. They've planned it. They've put in position their pawn for it to happen. So it was not just, oh, one day the government is not formed according to Constitution, let's just take it over and keep it silent. No. They've planned it. That's treason.
So you don't think Loverboy Trudeau is genuine? And
they're gone. And since they've plotted from the top, every license that they've given, every license is therefore illegal. So I care not who you are. Canada Post, McDonald, your license is illegal. It was given by the mafia. So fuck you. You have no right to operate in Canada. All of them. And that's where we step up. We take that. We're going to grant, the people are going to grant the license for the business they really want to see. We're going to manage those business from the top, so that from the government, so they don't go overbound like they are now. Like McDonald poisoning half the population, like Monsanto poisoning half the population. So we're going to use the government structure to shit on those licensees the way it's supposed to be.
Are you saying that all businesses
they decided to get rid of the legislature, but they cannot touch the Constitution, so they said, we don't have the legislature anymore, so we're going to do our own laws, but the laws cannot be valid because they get rid of the legislature. The legislature is the people are there to say the right things, and they are there to say this is constitutional or not. If it had been a legislature council, they would have said the Federation of Maple Syrup cannot have the obligation to defend their members and the power to seize them at the same time. Those two laws are canceling each other. So that's why without having the legislative council, they said we're going to make laws like we wish, and we make laws that cancel each other. We're going to make laws that we don't respect within our organization. We're the one. We be our own country. We're going to make our own laws. But they did not respect the Constitution. Why is there a Constitution if nobody respects it?
I'm all
That's
down
a question we've asked. Why is there a freaking Constitution and you're claiming on it?
I'm all down for laws that respect the Constitution. You're mentioning, though, that somewhere along the lines we're going to rescind all business licenses and that...
No, like I said just a moment before, even though the license are illegal, we need a transition period, an interim period, if you prefer, and in between. So everything must stay the same in order not to create a panic. Everybody must go to work tomorrow. Nothing has changed. In fact, at this moment, the clowns are still there, so don't don't panic. There's no reason for it, and keep on going the way you're going. We are not forming a government. We are announcing to the people that there's going to be a government of the people. Now you are ready to step up, or if you're not ready, get ready, because it's coming. We are forming a monarchy. These people were never elected. They're not elected. They're not elected into that. They are named.
I hear that. But
so
I gotta
keep
interrupt
as much
you
as the
here.
same as possible. So there's a peaceful transition. We're not waging war. We're not rebels.
Well, this is the thing,
rebels.
Though.
We're not even merely making revolution. It's only an evolution of what was in there. With the best intent possible, compared to the clown there who lie about everything.
I hear
That's
you.
All.
The thing is, if you guys and girls and non-binaries, of course, are gonna claim to be the new monarch and the new governor general and stuff, throughout history, the only way new monarchs have come around is through war. And,
I know. Thank you very much for asking that. I'm going to bring you back to the previous episode when you asked me, why are you repeating certain sentences? Remember when you asked me last time, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Because there are several ways of people of a king coming to monarch, and one of the repeat that I've made, it's heir and successor. Successor. Yeah. This is our key word in this fact.
So this
Denis is not taking the country by force. He has made a claim of royal right as a successor. So anybody who wants to try and take Canada by force and proclaim itself as king, you know what? If the military don't react, if they overrule my house, I am willing to recognize any freaking one who has taken Canada by force. No problem.
Yeah, but possession is 9/10 of the law, and the last
that's another story.
Is
but I said
claim.
to you, I'm not going to state my opinion here on Freedom Free for All. So this book,
Jeff,
it says we have a king or queen.
Yeah, it does say that.
Let's make it happen
that.
because you people are not doing that, and so it's empty. And yes, you're right. Throughout history, kingdom was always taken over by mainly bloody wars, even internal bloody wars.
Here's a valid question.
Royal family. This is why Denis has no family at all, no royal family at least. And
but here's a valid question on the flip side.
He's just a random guy. So if a random guy can be king because it's a public servant role, there's nothing magic to be a freaking king. I mean,
it's not magic.
Anybody could do that,
but it's force, and these people have thousands of years of dark occult power, technology, influence, propaganda behind them. And while you're saying this stuff, I am very concerned for the safety of you people, because you're not just fucking around with pansy ass people like Justin Trudeau. You're dealing with dark powers that will not only hurt you, they will hurt your family. They will go after
my fight went
children.
Directly to the art of the evil of vampire, even though nobody realized
it's not a joke about that they're vampires.
Yes, I realize that I've taken
do
the top,
drink blood,
but there was no way, no other
demons.
way. You need to shit from the top. It's not only the question of Denis Paiement and its private story. I told you last time, it's much, much, much bigger than just me. It's a thing that started in Vatican City.
Well, it does, and
but that was leading to my question, and that is, it's not about the people contesting the king. I would say it's the people that are currently in power that don't want to give up that power,
and they will not give up that power voluntarily. They do, but this is where you're wrong,
they have
Jeff,
force,
because they
right?
do have.
Not even. You've seen the video in Ottawa today. I am still alive, Paul. And you were asking me if I were suicidal 2 weeks ago. I remember that clearly. Yeah. I didn't have to watch the replay about it. I'm not suicidal, and I'm alive because they know exactly what we've done. And a year ago, I was here in northern BC, and because Denis was here, and we met with the nearest RCMP station, and I told him clearly, if you're not stepping up now, I'm going to fucking kick your ass from here to the Atlantic Ocean. That's what happened today in Ottawa. I didn't even have to physically move for that to be real, because I have no threat physically. I cannot kick anybody's ass, and even less Denis. He has no leg, for fuck's sakes. So, but in terms of paper, we're the winner. They are stepping down. They are afraid. If I was to be there, if I were there in Ottawa today, I would have guaranteed that I would have seen the RCMP shaking like that. Because last time I met the RCMP, they were shaking like that.
Because this is the truth. You're telling the truth. They did not tell us the truth, but we are telling the truth. Because
the truth is dangerous to
They
life.
are
truth is
afraid of us,
powerful,
and for
and
as
they are
long as the
afraid
government
of
is
the
afraid
truth.
of the people, we'll have freedom. For as long as the people are afraid of government, we get tyranny. And that's it. I'm tired of tyranny. I'm not fucking afraid. I don't care about dying. That's why I signed in the military. I knew one day I'd die. So fuck this all, and we're on with it. If they're not happy about it, I'll tell you what. We've got a public society called Air Canada. We will be happy to provide you with a plane ticket, one way only, anywhere you want in the world. Do your country there. Try that out wherever you choose to go. In the
I believe
meantime,
that
we're
they would
taking
all
our
go to
country back, and that's
Transylvania because they're vampires.
without you,
right?
because you have done wrong things.
They're going to the Vatican because they're
Well, they'll go
devil
home for sure.
worshippers.
They'll go home, and I don't care. We'll provide them with a plane ticket. They'll be happy that we're not kicking you off.
So how would
And if
what
you
would the
wanna hang on
re-education
with the
system
coup
look like?
d'etat, be my guest. We're going to kick you out. It's enough now. People are suffering on a daily basis. They're being poisoned with their food. They're being lied about money and the economic system. School is crap. Justice is non-existent. I mean, what the
Healthcare
fuck is working in this society? Oh yeah, I'll tell you what. Lies are working.
Yeah,
No,
lies.
you lie. The
Media is working.
prestigious. No, you're
The
a fucking
media is
liar.
working.
So you have no stand. This is where we are.
So what's the next step? What do you need from people watching this show today? You need a lieutenant governor in BC.
Personally, I do not need anything. The country does need, yes, a lieutenant governor for BC, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Nova Scotia, and Labrador, Prince Edward Island, and which one am I missing there? I know my province.
What about the
translating English,
territories?
I'm bad.
What about
I'm
the
mistaking one.
territories?
Yeah. So help me out if you remember that one.
Alberta,
I'm sorry
you've
for the
got
people who
Alberta,
live
you've
in
got
the
Saskatchewan,
Atlantic.
Manitoba,
I know my
Nova
way in
Scotia.
French, but not in English. So we're basically missing
Newfoundland. You've got one for
three
Newfoundland, Labrador.
Ontario, Quebec, Alberta, and New Brunswick are all covered.
Okay, so
If
you
no
need
one
one for
step up,
Newfoundland.
I will take British Columbia. The
And-
other thing is, I know fine people who live in Victoria, and if you'd like to take the position, it is empty, and you live in
What
Victoria.
about
What are the criteria? Whenever I'm applying for a job or a position of something, I say, "What's the criteria?" I have no clue what a governor general
This
does
is it.
other than steal
This is
money, propagate lies, and continue to tell lies in front of cameras. Now, I'm good in front of a camera, but I'm not
The
good
only duty
at
that
first
these
street.
people get is the constitutional law. That's it. If you're representing as monarch, as one of the 10 lieutenant governor, your duty is to be sure that the government does that. So the duty, what do I swear, what do I sign on? Actually nothing. You only have to watch the government below you. Are they doing that? So if, for example, you'd like to check out if the British Columbia Legislative Assembly is doing its job properly, all you need to do is organize one grand jury, read this out to them, and let's compare it to what they're doing there on the government street. If they are okay,
And if they're not,
they are okay.
And if they're
But
not,
if, as we've discovered, they're a corporation, which they are, I'm going to say, well, I think you guys don't belong there. Therefore, the spaces are empty. You're not taking anybody's place. It's empty, just like the throne was. And we can prove that there were no king or queen for 50 years. Therefore, it should be quick. Same thing as in Alberta, same thing as in Ontario. They have no right to be there.
I agree that they have no right to be there, but I see them there, and I've
they
seen
have
them there
guns.
for a long
They
time.
have the guns. They have the military. They have the
occupying-
RC.
Yeah, but that's why
It's
the
a
action was taken
demonic
today in Ottawa.
occupation
I
of the
was a
country
military. I can guarantee
that
to you that I
rallies
would never
behind the
fire on
shield
citizen.
of
I was
the
living in Victoria.
RCMP.
That's me, but I can only speak for myself. And as for the fact, they went to Ottawa today. They've issued warrant of arrest for 50 of the biggest company in Canada, and possibly around 3,000 guilty people along with that.
Fuck yeah.
And
That's awesome.
So we're going to need an update once these this warrant goes through and these arrests are made.
It's already went through. Don't
Yeah,
expect
that's
arrests.
not what I mean. Like
But the
once
reason why
the
we've done that
arrests
is
are
to
made.
make aware the people, so you, that these are guilty party,
Yeah.
just have no business to do with them. Don't expect them to go to prison. I am not in favor of prison. I do not wish that for anybody.
even for-
it
not
doesn't
even
work. But
Prison for Hillary Clinton.
what we can do is be free
That's what we want.
to
for
form
Christmas.
this, make them accountable based on
Hillary
this
for
altogether in our part of Canada through a real constitutional structure to which you can address, so grand juries.
Grand juries.
And the king will say yes to your grand jury, and whatever this grand jury will decide, well, it'll be common law. Because that's the reason for grand jury. That's the reason why I've done a grand jury in 2015. I could not address the commercial court, as we discussed last week, so let's go to common law and address the people. What do you think? Then let's take a decision, put it in action,
makes
and
a good point in the
not
chat.
because the Canucks are playing tonight at GM Center, and I don't know if it's still called like that, that
I
you're
don't
forced
think
to
it is.
watch.
Rogers.
So if even the Trudeau government, which is not government, stay there and pretend to be the government, well, you know what? Fuck you. We're not watching it. We're watching this group of people, which have been swearing the Constitution. They've been governing right with a sense of common sense. And we, the people, stand a chance to be part of it at any time. Why? Because as the grand jury, we've made a draw of people, volunteer, and your name was picked, You were still free to say no or to be there. So same thing for the government by consent. Just register. We're going to pick your draw, because that's what we've done for the Legislative Assembly of Quebec, and hope that your name is not picked. Because if it's picked, well, guess what? You're going to go in Quebec City and sit there for a while. There's a job with it. So yes, there is a job. We do not promise anything to anyone. We're just people of goodwill who are tired of the fucking lies.
Well,
so
CC
RCMP stand
mentions
down.
in the chat, Jeff, CC mentions in the chat that you should not underestimate the current power's willingness to use violence.
Well, I don't think Jeff does underestimate that.
Do not overestimate the craziness of the RCMP. They're just people. In my village, I know exactly where all the 5 fucking RCMP lives. So I don't care if they do violence with me when I'm trying to do something peaceful, legally.
Peaceful
and if you come with your gun, I'm going to fucking kick your ass all the way back to your house, man.
Now, I do have one question.
It's like that throughout Canada. Most small village, you know where they live. They're not living in the fucking North Pole. They live on the street. They're people just like you. They understand that they've been fucked. They do. They're not stupid.
Yeah.
That's no without
but
a
some
reason.
of them,
They were
some of
like
them
that. Last time I was at the Supreme Court.
Bootlickers, Jeff. Some of them are the ones that not only are they wanting to be bootlickers, but they love having a master.
I know, Josh, but now, I would be dead by now. Yeah, it's been 18 months. True. They're fully aware. We've crowned the king right on whatever street in Ottawa we were on. What's the street? Sussex Drive. That's where the Peace Tower is. We're right in front of Parliament. They could have gunned us down. There were a bunch of Kalashnikov people right there that day on the 150th anniversary. I am not dead. Denis is not dead, and it's been 18 months. Yeah. We've made that in front of the notary public. Anyone tries to take Denis' head down is high treason. Guilty of high treason right away. He is the rightful
king,
crown of Canada. Yes.
So with the king,
listen, I don't understand it myself, how this was possible. Okay. But the matter of the fact is, hate me all you want, laugh at me all you want, in the end you'll know it's a fact.
Well, you know we don't hate you.
It is to me as well.
Over here. But my question is about the king. So traditionally, you're supposed to bow towards these kings. Is that kind of tradition going to continue?
The king is a public servant. You just kick his ass just like anybody is servant.
So we don't have to bow and kiss his Freemasonic ring and...
No, that's it. My friend Denis is not part of any ring. He does no secret society. He has no secret army. He has no secret weapon. He has no technology whatsoever. He is just a guy just like you and I, and he has, in fact, probably least than all of us. So, yeah, you can be scared of the secret society, but the fact is that they're weak. They're weak. They have never had any power but our fear. Now it's over. All these people that you're seeing here, they're not in fear.
No, but they do hold the illusion. They're very good magicians. And so I think Freedom Free For All would be the perfect new media for the new, grand jury.
New grand jury.
Kingdom, Freedom Free For All, global television show, you know what I mean?
Well, grand jury are up to the people to organize. Don't rely on me doing another one. Definitely. It was painful enough to do one in 2015. It was brought up today to the RCMP 3 years later. I thank these people, which are partly watching, which are going to share this video.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
You guys have done great work. You've done great
People
work.
just like you and I.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've understood what we've done. If you feel like in British Columbia you can step up and take a role, it's up to you. All you need to do is read this, just like we did. Realize that they're not doing that, the so-called government, and you're in business. Now it needs somebody. It's just like if you're walking down the street, there's a bunch of people watching the house burn, and you watch them and say you're not going to do anything, and you plug in a hose and you start taking out the fire. At least you're doing something. You're not
And
just
then you
like
turn the
clowns
hose on
sitting
those
on the
other
sideway
hoses.
and just watching it happen. No, I'm stepping up. I'm taking something. And there's 36 people, and I'm one of them. So 35 people watching this right now. I'm sure that's enough to get it going, to get it on the rail, to if everybody in the province of Saskatchewan would step up, there would only be still one lieutenant governor. So I don't want to see a fight. First come, first serve. Right now,
Is it a term or for
all
life?
empty except those you've seen here.
Are
What's
they
that, Josh?
are they terms or is it for life? Is it a life
No,
position?
that's it.
or-
That's where we are acting under emergency circumstance.
Yeah.
It's for sure not life
Okay.
terms. We are going to put to draw all these positions, the one that
Including
are
the king?
already filled, but including the one that needs to be filled, because I think as a measure of protection for the people against the government, a draw amongst the voluntary people is much needed. And so right now we're acting once again under emergency circumstance. We need to form it as fast as we can. It's going to be temporary.
Well,
Even
let's-
Denis doesn't want this position. He did not step forward. He took it because there was no one. Donc il y avait personne comme roi.
Yeah.
Fait que c'est Denis qui l'a pris. So Denis took the crown because there was no one. And I don't want to repeat the same completely crazy system. We need to put it differently. So we need charge that will be rotating quickly and
Well,
that
as
are
long-
non-renewables.
As
Well,
long
let's-
as the
So
new system isn't
this way corruption
communism.
will be downsized
Amen.
very quickly.
Well, as a part of the wrap up of the show, is there anybody else that you've brought on the show that wants to say something or final words about what's gone on today and what they want to see for 2019, Jeff?
Okay, well, this is my final public appearance, so I'm gonna say these final words. Then I'm gonna allow the people that are with me. I've been talking too much over the last 5 years. I've lived all sorts of attack. I'm going to step down as a public figure because my thing didn't work out very well anyway. I am a military. I was there to wage war. I've done my duty. I've pretty much destroyed every opposition that was possible for the people to get. If I would like to see something for 2019 is the constitutional monarchy, de jure, just like the way it says in there, and that we organize somewhere around June a constitutional conference in which we're going to offer the people the choice between corporation the way you know or government that you have a choice to step in and then take part of it, and just like you would in your house, when there's something to be done, well, just do it because it's not going to be done on our own. Now I'm going to invite the people online. Denis en premier. T'es-tu toujours là, Denis?
Oui.
J'invite à saluer le monde, puis à leur dire merci. Fait que tu sais comment faire, tu sais comment dire bonjour en anglais, puis dire merci aussi.
Répète-moi les dons, je me trompe.
Okay, Denis is asking me to repeat how to say goodbye and thank you in English. So goodbye and thank you, Denis.
Goodbye, thank you.
Merci, Denis.
And,
Merci, Denis.
So I'm shutting my mouth like that. I'm gonna remain online until the end, but this is me. This was Jean-François Fortin, and I'm gonna shut it down there for my public appearance. Now the crown is in their hands and yours. If you'd like to pick it up, we have some roles, and we as a nation, and so I can include myself in that. I would like to see a better world. It's up to you. I'm going to remain as a privy counsel for these people that you see here. I'm not stepping down aside from being a public figure, so I'm going to leave my YouTube channel open or account open for anybody to refer to. But this was my last public appearance. So thank you very much, Canada. I bow to you. Let's make it happen. And I was happy to serve you. Even though it was hard, I would have preferred it would have been someone else taking a beating. So I'm going to step down, and hopefully it's your turn now. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeff. Is there anybody else? Go ahead.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur Fortin. And thank you, Freedom Free for All, for watching, listening to us, watching to us, whatever. Okay, I guess.
Merci.
Whatever, I'm on camera or not. Okay. So thank you very much. And as we said before, we found out the truth, and we decided to move forward, even if we don't have the public with us. We do what we have to do, and if people understand and they want to do something for their country, well, just join us and we'll do something together. Merci beaucoup. À la prochaine. Au revoir. Salut Denis.
Salut Angèle.
À la prochaine.
Thank you. Merci beaucoup. Anybody else on the chat there? Anybody else on the line that wants to have the last final words?
Do we still have Paul on the line?
I'm still here.
Hey, Paul, we haven't heard from you at all. Why don't you give us some final farewells? What do you think about what is going on here in your role?
My role as Lieutenant Governor of Ontario, de jure. I can't wait to get this started, really. It's up to the people to set up these grand juries that we're going to need. Mm-hmm. And I'm up for starting whenever, as soon as people can get together on this. So it's up to the people to get together. So.
We got the technology, right? We can do it.
And you're seeing stuff like that kind of happening in France right now and Europe with all of that yellow vest.
It's kind of timely.
Yeah.
You know, things are just cooking right now all over globally, and Canada could show them how it's done in a peaceful manner and not have to tear down the streets to do it. You know what I mean?
I agree with that. Peaceful manner is the way to do it, peaceful resolution.
Exactly.
But however, I don't know if we've ever had that, and I don't know if that we live in a physical world, and I don't know if our will as spirit beings could be more powerful than the will of the violent force that we live in. You know what I mean? That's my scare. Because the people that hold the power have a lot of power right now. They don't have power, but they have force.
They will bring in a new world order out of the chaos.
Yeah.
And that's what I think they're trying to instigate is chaos. And we have to try to keep our heads with us and do this right.
Yeah, well, it's funny. I was having a conversation with a friend just the other day, and I said to him, isn't in a democracy it's the will of the people? Doesn't the government represent the people? They said, yeah. Oh, yeah, we were talking about not voting and why I don't vote. And I said, well, if it's the representation of the will of the people and I don't vote, and a lot of people don't vote, well, then what would happen if the will of the people that didn't vote became the will of the people? You wouldn't see that same government because the government represents you, the voters, who want it there.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it was kind of a way of putting it out there that it's like blaming non-drivers for car accidents.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Blaming pedestrians.
Governments derive their authority from the consent of the governed.
Yes.
It's all a matter of association. What you want to associate yourself with, you have the freedom of association. So you could associate with these clowns having a three-ring circus, and we call this House of Commons.
Yeah.
Or you want to deal with real people that are going to do the real job that needs to get done.
Well, that's awesome, Paul, and I highly respect you and acknowledge your position, and I'm glad that I could be here on Freedom Free for All, that it's declared and recognized, and if that somehow gives it a little bit of clout, legal clout, public notoriety, public notice, whatever you want to call it, I'm glad that we can help and be part of it, and I support you in that endeavor, and if there's anything you need from us, let us know.
Well, the revolution's not going to be televised, so we got to kind of like... use forms like this.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Definitely. Well, you won't see
I'm
it on
glad
CBC.
that you guys gave us the time to do this, and it's gonna put us out there to the people to know that we exist. We're here. We're getting ready to get going here.
Yeah.
We need some. It's like Jean-Francois told me that it's like Canada's a bus, and there's a whole bunch of seats that are empty. And he asked me if I wanted to take the seat of the Lieutenant Governor of Ontario. and do the job to the best of my ability, and that's what I plan on doing. So
wicked,
awesome. All right. Do we have anybody else on the line on your guys' end that hasn't had?
Yes, I'm on the line.
This is Kyle from Alberta.
This is Carl Edward Fleury from Alberta.
Okay,
I'm actually Lieutenant Governor of Alberta, the URI.
Yeah.
And actually, my work has been very simple and it's been very productive lately because pretty well all I need to do is to empower the people with information and let them know their rights. And as we all know, I mean, the power of the people and the will of the people supersedes any other power. So the question is to you, Canadians, what is your will? I mean, you have more power than any politicians out there. You must get yourself your constitution, get to know your constitution. I suggest to start with paragraph 52, 32, and 2 in that order, and then learn the rest of your constitution. And we're gonna offer you counsel on how to start grand juries across Canada, because every one of you have the power to start a grand jury. So this is pretty well all I have to say, and I want to thank everyone to be here tonight. And tonight I met my king for the first time, and I'm very happy to meet my king. And thank you very much for having us on the show. So
thank you for coming on. Yeah, thank you, Kyle.
Yeah.
And I think that's everyone, isn't it? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Anybody else?
Okay.
I think that might be it.
And so I guess we're going to wrap it up.
We haven't had too many questions on the chat, to tell you the truth. A lot of comments, a lot of people putting out their opinions of what has happened in the past, and don't be like that one comment is don't be afraid, or don't be naive of the violence that they could use. And I that's my fear at the end of the day, is when you become powerful enough. You go actually into the House of Commons and you sit down and you actually sit in their seat. Yeah, there's going to be some kind of...
If you allow me, Paul, I will step back up, even though I said earlier this is still my last...
I knew you were going to come back.
These seats are empty, actually, so we don't need to be scared of them. And the other thing is we don't physically need to occupy the seat and to assume the role, because don't forget, the main part of the government is not to be seated in the House of Commons. It's actually to go around their circumscription or local and do what the people want them to do. And ultimately, the system of violence will not win. It's impossible. There's too many of us, too few of them. And as we've seen it today, they were ordered to stand down, and that's what they did. So they're already obeying. Like I said, for as long as they're scared of us, we're going to have liberty and freedom.
Yeah,
and we are not scared. Freedom. So they're doomed. They had nothing. For as long as we're scared, you're right. They're going to pull out the guns, and that's all they need to do. But if you're not impressed with guns, and I'm not, I have got the gang with the biggest gun. I'm into it still, even though I'm retired from active duty. Don't forget who I am. I am a military. If they call me, I'm going. I'm the group with the biggest gun, and I can guarantee that they will not allow my group, my gang of thugs, to turn on to the people, because they know already they don't have that power.
Well, that brings up a great point.
All it is left, it is the fear of people.
But that brings up that brings up a great point, and that point is...
They have never done political murder. They're not about to start. And they will yield, or they'll fucking get their ass kicked by me.
The great point that comes up is, isn't it the military that should be the first people knowing about this?
They know. I am a military. I knew that before you did, apparently. Since I've been on the job for 7 years.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is, like, if you take it so seriously into heart, shouldn't that be the priority of?
They've been sold, and they're paid by the corrupted end. As soon as they'll know that, they will step down. They will sit. They will not defend those people, and that's as simple as that.
I hope so. I hope so, because they're trained militants.
Defend those people. Yeah. If they come and get me with the MP tomorrow, the military police, they're gonna have a slight problem with me. I'm not going to serve anymore. I'm not serving a lie. So wait until I get in the climb out and start speaking with the admiral, just for fun. If you pull me there.
Well, when you come to Victoria,
have my friend Paul and Josh right at the gate of the base, and Nathan, you'll be there.
Yeah, we'll bring the cameras. We'll be there, man. Yeah. We'll declare it. Absolutely.
Okay.
Military must stand down, and RCMP must stand down. So there will not be arrest.
Cool.
They must stand down.
2019 is looking
This is peace,
pretty
ladies
good.
and gentlemen, not war anymore. This is a complete change of paradigm,
Peace.
and you're invited into it.
Peaceful
So thanks
paradigm
again.
is great, and it's a great motive and intention that you have, Jeff. And I just want to thank you for coming on the show. I want to thank all of your compatriots, and I guess our compatriots, for joining us on the show. Thank you to all of our live stream viewers. This is probably going to be my last show of the year, so I just want to say Merry Christmas to everyone. It's been a great year. We've had some great shows, great guests, and great viewers. You know, you guys in the chat room, you make great jokes. You're witty, you're sharp, you're on the ball, and you're highly educated. And it's nice that I get to participate in a show that has long-form conversations like we did now, that's not just full of sound bites and actually has an engaged and an educated viewership that, you know, you don't get from TV. Instead of having TV talk at you, I get the pleasure of reading the live chats and participating with you guys. Although we do have plans to have one more show before we take our Christmas break. And I believe we have Jordan Maxwell coming on. No,
we had Jordan scheduled for a special this Thursday to all of our premium guests members, but he had to back down, unfortunately. But we will have him on, and we will bring him back in January. He wanted to do a special edition on Christmas specifically.
Yeah, that
so
would have been good.
Unfortunately, no. But we probably will have a guest on the 29th, I believe, which is the last one.
Okay.
Because next week is Christmas. We probably won't be doing it.
No. I don't think we're coming back the week after. I think this is the last show of the year.
If you like us, then you got to tune into our Facebook page and find out. And I tip my Tuberg to you, CC, and everybody else.
All
in the
you
live
guys.
chat, and everybody that was on the show today. That, you know, they've been doing this for a long time. If this is new to you, then at the end of the day, there's a lot to be said about all of this information they present. It seems totally off the top, but there's a lot of legal framework in which they've done, they've invested in, and I think this movement will go on. So, tip my Tuberg to the King. King Denny.
The truth will set you free, and it always goes through three inevitable stage. I hope I speeded up that today. And just for a fun fact, like last week when I left you, there's a rumor in the United States about 68,500 something sealed indictment that are about to proceed either in front of military court or grand juries. And there's a growing rumor of 1,200,000 arrests. I'm not saying that it's true. It's a growing rumor. Check out your local
let's
internet.
hope for Christmas. You know, that's what I'd like to see.
Dis-leur, Jean-François, que la reine a perdu sa couronne sur un bill de vin.
Ouais, je leur ai dit ça. Denis is stating that Elizabeth II was uncrowned. You can check your local coin. So just dig in your pocket and check it out. It's true. Everything we've said is true. It is not our pleasure to do that. We've done it. We are French. We are Canadian. We're holding on the crown because it's our way out.
Et on vit dans un monde artificiel parce qu'on vit avec de l'argent.
We are living in an artificial world, then he says. We must put an end to the lie of money.
Okay,
It's
well,
I've
also got to say that all of you representatives that we spoke to today, you've been very, very respectful with my answers, and I've never experienced respectful answers from any politician or anybody of authority.
That's because we're not authority, and we are not also, how should I state that? We're not different than you, Paul. We do understand that we need to be given order. And as for me personally, I'm not part of that. And by the way, these people, they're not the government. The government is elected. They are the monarchy, so they have no power over you. They have only power to oversight the government. That's their duty. And that's where we're going to make them stand, as we are accusing the actual fake party of government. If the URI government is not doing their job, they're going to step down to be replaced. We don't want no more incompetency. We're going to do our best to make this world work straight. So that means their job is to end the lie. I'm going to be a privy counsel to them, and you don't you don't owe these people anything. You don't have to bow to them like you were saying earlier. They're your neighbors. They're your friends. Let's work together and set the world the way you'd like to see it. I want to hear from you your real opinion. Right now, putting a monarchy forward is no question of opinion. It's a question of law, constitution.
Yeah.
We don't do politics. So these guys are not politicians. They have no stake in the outcome. Their interest is to stay silent, collect a check, just like everyone last of us.
What I was meaning was
lie,
the actual
that's
capacity in which they
I'm
represent.
not swallowing and no more.
Yeah, their position.
So,
that's what it is. That's what they represent is the position
to
of
freedom
that element, right?
Okay, well we will be back in the new year with some great guests. Of course, we're going to have Dr. Timbal on. Of course, we're going to continue debunking climate change. Of course, I'm going to continue calling the government corrupt necromancers. Perhaps
until we
rant
get
a little bit about demons and devils that are blocking out the sun. Of course, we're going to have some insane guests come on that you're just going to be like, what is what they say true? That's what Freedom Free For All is. It's a free for all for freedom. Stay tuned. If you like our show and you want to support us, you can donate to us at patreon.com/FFFA. We fund this show completely. The four guys that run the show, we've been doing it for years, and we're not out here to make money. We pay
ourselves $2.32 per show.
Do we?
And you don't pay tax on that, do you? You don't declare that as your income.
I never do. I try to pay as
I've
little
been paying
tax
it all
as
this time.
possible. We will be back next year with some amazing guests and some good conversations. So stay tuned to our Facebook page. We'll still be active there. I will continue posting hilarious memes that I laugh at myself. So share them, like them. We'll put up some good stories and, have a Merry Christmas or winter festival, solstice, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa,
have a Merry Christmas
and a beer and cannabis.
Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy Tuberg.
Be safe and be free.
Show your support for Freedom Free For All and independent media today at patreon.com/FFFA and at freedomfreeforall.com/donate.